Welcome back. Let's continue with part 1 of our series on spiritual growth. Lesson 5 is called Your Emotions Are Messengers. So we're going to take a look at emotions, which all of us have, and take a look at what might be going on in especially the darker emotions. We oftentimes shun the troubling emotions. These might be anger or upset, they might be resentment, discouragement, maybe grief, maybe jealousy or envy, maybe fear. We oftentimes don't want to look at them. We don't want to get too close to them because if we touch them, they might become real and take up a big space in our life. And it's just easier to put them away or go shopping or, try something new, go to a movie, read a book. But actually, our emotions are part of our human makeup. So emotions, which are that part of our human makeup, are messengers. They're part of who we are, and they come to tell us something, and that's a blessed thing. So most of the darker emotions are not pathologies, but a part of human experience. Thank God. They're part of who we are. They accompany us, and they help us to learn things. Actually, these emotions have a purpose, which is to help you to grow beyond where you are right now, to grow out of a stuck place, and to grow beyond toward a larger horizon. The darker emotions are not meant to be suppressed, but to be listened to. Your emotions are your teachers, and that's a beautiful thing. So we can let our emotions run rampant through our interior house, where we are always in a rage or always, railing against the forces. We're always in a corner of fear. We can let those emotions run rampant in that interior space, or we can ask them what they have come to tell us. To actually say to an emotion, "What have you come to tell me?" There's a beautiful story in the book of Genesis in chapter 32 where Jacob wrestles through the night with this dark figure. And he wrestles so much that actually the dark figure knocks his hip socket out of joint. And Jacob actually limps through life after that. But as dawn approaches, Jacob says to the dark figure, "I will not let you go until you bless me." We can imagine that that was a dark emotion that he was wrestling with, where we have that power to say to that emotion, "I will not let you go until you bless me." Our emotions have come to tell us something. So that's just a beautiful understanding. So why is learning from your emotions vital to your spiritual growth? They reveal the painful, unfinished self, and they actually invite you to grow. Oftentimes in my time with my directees, if they're working with an emotion of grief, for example, which maybe they can't even name, I might ask them to invite brother grief or sister grief to come in and sit down at the table and to tell you what's really going on with them. You can ask brother grief or sister grief, "What have you come to tell me?" Brother anger, sister anger, "What have you come to tell me?" Anger that's maybe 20 years old. Anger, "What have you come to tell me?" And it may be a message that you don't really want to hear. It may be a message that, thank God, you have been waiting to hear, and now you hear it. So invite that emotion to reveal the message and invite you to grow. So you have a little practice. I ask you to recall a troubling emotion that visits you often. It might be anxiety. It might be grief. It might be fear. It might be profound discouragement. Recall that troubling emotion that visits you often. Invite it in and ask it, what have you come to tell me? Many people during the season of pandemic and all the aftermath of pandemic are wrestling with real discouragement. And you can ask, what have you come to tell me? Exhaustion, what have you come to tell me? Receive its wisdom. Don't put words in its mouth. Wait for its wisdom. Wait for its blessing. And then walk it to the door and let it go. That's your homework. In lesson 6, we will talk about prayer. And I want you to join me.
Dare to believe.